This is it.
Sorry for sharing my fear of tombs with you.
What was that?
Nothing.
You are mine! This tomb is bigger than I thought. He has to be around here somewhere.
Leave me alone! Go away!
You don't need to be scared now. I'm not with them.
That doesn't mean you won't kill me. You just want this for yourself.
I'm a friend of Socrates.
You are? Prove it!
I've never met someone as smart as Socrates. I always think about our conversations long after they finished.
You know him all right. I'm sorry for doubting you.
Why were those men after you?
For some reason, they wanted these writings of Socrates's. Well, I wrote them, but it's all his words.
That seems like a strange thing to want.
One of them had a big mouth. He mentioned something about the priest at the sanctuary of Athena Pronea. He said this was the final thing they needed to get rid of Socrates.
I've always been curious. What does Socrates teach you?
So much. Follow him around for an entire day and you won't be able to sleep. Your mind will be so aflutter with thoughts.
I'm not sure I'd last a whole day with him. What drew you to Socrates?
I've never met a man like him and I don't think I ever will again. Every day with him is one worth waking up for.
I'll take care of the priests.
Thank you. And, well, please. Give this to Socrates. It hurts me to say this after all I've learned from him, but I have a family. I can't risk being caught up in whatever this is.
So you're going to stop being his student?
It feels I have no choice. Maybe one day that will change.
I'll be sure to give him the writings.
Thank you. Make sure he stays safe. The world will be a worse place without him in it.
That student gave me an idea. Xantippe said there was a symposium. Maybe I can convince the others who were there to help Socrates. I'm not sure why the priest wants Socrates gone, but I need to take care of him. I need to talk to them. Maybe I can...
Do not students take what they learn from their teachers? What then if the teacher is wrong? Does that not simply perpetuate these wrong teachings amongst future generations?
You assume the students aren't wise enough to understand the flaws of the teacher. Think of those who came before us. First Thales, then his student Anaximandros, and then Anaximenes. Without the teachings of those before him, it's safe to say Anaximenes would not have reached the conclusions he did.
I don't think that's true at all. Oh, perhaps this new phase can offer a different perspective.
I've never heard the names you just mentioned.
It's never too late to learn. But even so, one doesn't need to know who they are to answer. Is it not a risk that wrong ideas will be passed along if a student doesn't have the wisdom to seek the truth?
If we listen to others and take what they say as fact, we only have ourselves to blame.
So, no matter who is speaking, student or teacher, we must spend time trying to understand if what they say is even true.
Your appearance betrays you, Mystius. Clearly, you've taken on a teacher of your own.
Something like that. He's the reason I'm here. Socrates needs your help.
Socrates? Ha! If it's another debate you want, it will be hard for us to decide who hates that man more. Why would we help him?
You can either help him, or I can show you that I'm not a Misthios only in looks.
I didn't realize Socrates taught his students to harm those who disagree with them.
I'm a different student than you're used to.
We wouldn't stand a chance against you in a fight. But that doesn't mean we will do what you say through threat of violence. You've been an interesting part of the conversation thus far. So we will give you another chance. Why should we help Socrates?
It doesn't matter if he's your worst enemy. If they're willing to imprison someone like Socrates only for his words, what's to say they won't do the same to you?
So, you want us to help out of fear of being imprisoned ourselves?
I don't care why you help. If I hadn't said his name, Would you think it was right Socrates was locked up?
If it's as you say, and it was for his words, then no.
And aren't you afraid it could happen to you too?
Of course. If we can't speak our minds, what else are we to do?
If you believe that, then you should help.
Fine, fine. You've made your point, and you've made it well. Socrates deserves our help, but we don't give it lightly.
That makes it worth even more.
We'll be on our way then. We'll gather some others as well. Make sure our voices are heard. Believe it or not, we're pretty good at causing a scene.
If you're like Socrates, that's not hard to believe.
Wow, I've never seen someone convince them so easily before.
Is that so? I guess I should feel proud. I'm surprised to see a child here.
Is there an age at which it would suddenly be okay to debate with them? What then of the night before I turned that age? Should we be prevented from doing what we wish due to the world's view of us?
I can't even have a normal conversation with a child.
Normal is no fun. Look around. Everyone here wants the same thing.
Headaches?
Debate!
You're the first kid I've met who'd rather debate than play.
Don't tell the others, but I'm envious that you're a student of Socrates. I hope one day to be as well.
You're on the right path. What's your name?
Aristocles. Although I've never liked that name much.
It does sound like countless others I've heard around Athens. Why not choose another?
I can do that? Huh. My brother always had a problem saying my name, so he called me Plato instead. Perhaps I'll use that.
I like it.
Thank you. Well, I better hurry after the others. Here.
Ποιος ο υπέτειος?
I don't want to be spotted here.
Hey, get moving!
Once we have the papyrus, we simply add a few special notes on it.
Those priests must be the ones who hired the thugs and want to get rid of Socrates.
Αθωότατο σημείο. Γιατί εμέ. Γιατί εμέ.
Now that all the priests are dead, they won't be able to testify against Socrates. I should return to Socrates before the trial starts. Socrates, you're here.
I am.
What happened? The trial couldn't have taken place that quickly.
Had I been given the chance to defend myself, it would have been quick indeed. But unfortunately for me, I was let free before I could.
That's good news.
Apparently, those who had charges to bring against me were found dead. And evidence they claimed to have went missing.
It sounds like someone was looking out for you.
There were also some people protesting my arrest, I was told. I have to ask, did you have something to do with this?
Me? Kill? Steal? Arrange protests?
Yes.
It does sound like me. But it was someone else this time.
I'm glad I asked.
Did you have time to find an answer for the Pythia's words?
I thought it would have taken much longer than it did, but the moment I stopped thinking about it, it came to me like a flash of Zeus's lightning.
So, do you agree with the Pythia, or not?
The gods cannot lie. Yet, I know that I know nothing. I had to understand what it meant for one who knows nothing to be called wise. I realized that though the Pythia said my name, she did not mean me.
Who did she mean then?
That is not an answer I'd yet like to voice. It's one that people may not want to hear, and I must think on how I wish to share my new beliefs with Athens.
Whatever it is, be careful. I don't want to find you've been arrested again. We should get you home. I'm sure you'll be more comfortable there.
In some ways, that will be true. In others, well, Xanthippe will decide that. Being free feels good, but I don't believe Xanthippe will be happy with me.
She has good reason to be mad this time.
We argue often about how I need to be careful with what I say and where I say it. This will only give her more cause to bring it up.
That doesn't sound very fun.
Oh, you misunderstand. I love it.
You do?
People see Xanthippe and believe it is her beauty that drew me to her. But it is her argumentative spirit I lust for.
Nobody ever likes that about me.
Having my opinions and thoughts challenged helps me to refine them and to grow as a person.
And she likes these arguments?
I doubt it, but it is in those fiery moments that her spirit is strongest, like an untamed horse.
Don't call her a horse to her face.
I'm afraid your advice is a bit too late.
Crush them!
Get somewhere safe, Socrates.
I wonder what that was about.
With the things I do, it's sometimes hard to know.
Let's hurry back before anything else happens.
You came back. Finally. I'm ready to return to Athens. I've had enough of Phokis and his talk of the Pythia.
You will be happy to hear I have no need for her words any longer.
Ah, then something positive came out of this after all.
I just remembered. A student of yours has been taking notes of your teachings. He wanted you to have them. What did you do that for?
Nobody asked him to write down my words.
Even so, why not keep it? Share it with others.
Because of a story I was told as a boy.
All right, let's hear it.
The king of Egypt, Thamos, was visited by the god Thephtha. Thephtha offered the invention of writing to the king and told him it was an elixir of memory and wisdom. But Thamos disagreed. He believed the people would no longer use their memories, for they would simply read instead. These written words would not offer true wisdom, but only the appearance of such.
You don't want your words written down so others can't use them to pretend to be smart.
Much like creatures in a painting, the words sit there unmoving. If you ask them a question, they will preserve a solemn silence. And no matter how many times you ask, they will only ever say the same thing. They cannot defend their message.
That's the part you like. The defense of your words.
All who speak should defend their words if questioned about them. That is why I choose to speak and not write. That is why any words of mine that last beyond my final breath will be those that people choose to remember. Those words will be true wisdom and not an illusion.
What's your plan now?
After I return to Athens, there's much I need to consider.
You'll be careful, right?
If I have to choose between saying nothing and staying safe, or speaking up and risking my life, the choice is easy.
I should get going. I'm glad you're free.
As am I, although, if you allow me, there is something.
I doubt I could stop you.
We like to believe that action means progress, but it's control that's so truly desired. The more we do, the more control it seems we have, but the less we allow for others. If we grip too tightly, we'll find we've crushed what it is we're holding on to.
Meaning...
Meaning we must sometimes let life unfold without trying to influence the outcome.
I'll keep that in mind. I almost forgot. In your letter, you said you had something to ask me. What was it?
You know, I've completely forgotten now. Take care, Alexios.
Stay out of trouble, Socrates. Are you still stuck?
My, is that Alexios of Aiad, the Eagle-Bearer, messenger of Zeus, he who launched 1,000 hearts?
Alcibiades. I'm known by many names, but that last one sounds to be of your own making.
My young friend Archimedes here could use your legendary talents to woo the object of his desire.
You would have my eternal gratitude.
I'd like to know more about the man asking for my help.
I'm Archimedes. I came to Alcibiades because he boasts of his exploits as a lover and knows Braxilla.
I'm Misthios, not some famed lover.
Nonsense! I've heard that Armistios here is the only one allowed near the Pirate Queen Xenia's booty.
What's the job?
Have you ever heard of Braxilla?
The name sounds familiar. Who is she?
Who is she? A poet blessed by Apollo himself. She describes the gods as if they were her lovers. Her lyre is a legendary weapon wielded in her hands. I want to meet her, but talking to a goddess such as she? Terrifying.
Oh, nonsense. Usually you give a woman some flowers, and she'll show you her flower. However, this is Praxilla. She is not easily impressed.
Of course. No ordinary flower will do. They need to be worthy of a goddess.
I come to this coast every year for the Poetry Festival. Of all the beautiful blossoms, none match the scent and radiance of the coral rose. Fetch some, and all doors and legs shall open for you.
I'll return with your flowers. Where can I find the coral rose? It sounds rare.
You would be correct. However, like all good things in life, these take more work than most are willing to expend. They're atop a nearby mountain.
Say I do get these flowers. Where would I bring them?
Back to camp? Praxilla should be in her tent.
You mentioned being here for a poetry festival.
I did. It's one of the many festivals to Apollo, but this one holds a special place in my heart. Among other places. Other festivals are so stuffy. Here we worship like Maenads.
I've heard enough.
Please, if you are as skilled with sword and heart as Alcibiades says, you'll return to me with the coral rose. As a poet, it's best that I stay at camp while you do the hiking.
You'd be an easy snack for wolves or bears. I'll return with the roses. coral roses. I found your coral roses.
You're back! That's perfect. The roses are perfect. Oh, look at the luster. The fragrance. Now, you must deliver them to her.
You came all this way to meet her. You should be the one to do it.
Please, I'm much too nervous to speak to her. I've composed a poem to recite. Here, let me teach you.
I'd say it all wrong. I'm a Misthios, not a poet.
Then, would you at least deliver the flowers while I rehearse?
Fine. But the rest is up to you.
Okay. She's at her tent, right there. Go give them to her.
Praxilla, I have flowers for you from Orchimedes of... somewhere.
Did I not tell you to get the wine 5 minutes ago?
Alexios of Aiad, may I introduce you to my dear friend Praxilla, Apollo's muse and mistress of the golden strings.
You're Praxilla?
Didn't expect an aged bard. Mercenary of Aiad?
People your age tend to have more wealth, so if anything, this is better for me.
Praxilla, this is Alexios of Aiad, Eagle-bearer, messenger of Zeus, launcher of 1,000...
Alexios, Al-Al. All the kings cowered from this god-child's power. Are scowling Achilles. Alexios, please, cry lads and ladies.
A true genius.
Look at those shoulders. A soldier, a Spartan, a thorn in the side of titans. He who dares challenge Poseidon. Alcibiades, this one I'm keeping my eyes on.
The poems she writes about me are never so kind.
I have flowers for you. They're not from me. They're from Orchimedes. He's right over... Well, he was over there.
A coral rose? Huh. I'll have to get my servant to add these to the pile.
It's a gift. Show some gratitude.
Where is that servant girl? I swear her head must be rattling with rocks.
I wish she'd rattle my rocks.
Achaikos is missing. That idiot must have taken it with her and run off.
Achaikos?
Achaikos is Praxilla's legendary lyre.
I set it down after tuning moments before you arrived. I can't go on stage without Achaikos.
I did see Orchimedes leaving in quite a hurry.
We need to get that lyre back. Please, without Praxilla getting everyone's juices flowing, this festival is just a bunch of young men measuring the size of their verse.
This lyre was special. Can you play another for your recital?
Perseus without winged sandals or a mirrored shield was just a man. Would he have the same legends, the same mystery if he performed each task without a legendary weapon?
It's very valuable, both in significance and in drachmi.
Archimedes and the missing servant both disappeared as the lyre was stolen. They could be working together.
Oh, and he seemed like such a nice boy.
Alcibiades invited a viper into my tent.
Is there somewhere they could have taken it?
It's a poetry festival. There's no better hub for shady trade.
I'll find the thief and return the lyre. I'm looking for a man named Archimedes.
I know an Archimedes. Otherwise, no.
He might have been holding a lyre.
There are as many men holding lyres here as there are blades of grass on a field.
I'm looking for a missing lyre.
Aren't we all?
Are we? Praxilla's lyre has gone missing. Have you seen it?
Praxilla's lyre is missing? That's terrible news. First no Euripides and now this? Krepsis really has gone to the dogs.
Do you know a man named Archimedes?
Archimedes? Archimedes? That's the kid who hangs out around the Vipers. Yeah, I know him. He's been coming to the festival for 3 or 4 years, maybe.
The Vipers? Who are they?
You know how it is. People feel small, so they band together to make the rest of us feel smaller. They took over the temple of Athena Itonia a while back. Now it's hard to take the role without being held at knife point.
Do you think that's where Archimedes would take a lyre?
Hope not. For his sake. The Vipers are dangerous. If he did have the lyre on him, they'd probably rough him up for it. He's one of those kids that'd be keeping around for fodder, if you get me.
Did he have a lyre on him?
I didn't see him with one. I saw him talking to you, then walking towards Praxilla's tent. He and Praxilla's pretty elot have been sneaking around lots. Just assume they were, you know, planting a garden.
Is the Temple of Athena the best place to sell a stolen lyre?
You can buy and sell anything here, unfortunately. But going to the Vipers guarantees the person you stole from won't follow you in. Shame. It was such a beautiful temple.
Thank you for your help.
Hope you find the lyre. Watch out for the Vipers at the Temple of Athena Itonia.
You're that servant. The one who disappeared at the same time as the liar.
I can explain. Archimedes talked me into it and said he'd use the drachmi to buy my freedom. When we escaped, he said he wanted to bring the liar to the Vipers. I said no. The Vipers said yes.
The Vipers have Archimedes and the liar now. As for you, you can go back to Praxilla and apologize if you really want help.